You have watered your tomatoes every single day. You have fed them, staked them, talked to them like they are your children. And yet somehow your neighbor down the street, who barely touches his garden, is pulling in tomatoes the size of softballs while yours look like they are still deciding whether to grow up. Here is the truth nobody wants to admit. It is not about how much effort you put in. It is about three things almost every professional grower knows and almost never says out loud, because honestly, if everyone knew them, half the expensive gardening advice out there would stop selling. Before we get into it, welcome back to Earthly Gardening, the place where growing food doesn't have to drain your wallet or your patience. If you are new here, hello, grab a seat, because today's video might just change the way you grow tomatoes forever. And if you have been with us for a while, you already know we don't do fluff. We give you what actually works, plain and simple. Quick favor before we dive in. If you find even one of these three secrets useful today, tap that like button right now while you remember. It genuinely helps this channel grow, it costs you absolutely nothing, and it lets more struggling gardeners find this information too. Alright, let's get into secret number 1. Secret 1, the water myth that's ruining your tomatoes. Here is something most beginners get completely backwards, and honestly, it trips up even gardeners who have been growing for years. You have probably heard that blossom end rot, that ugly black leathery patch that shows up at the bottom of your tomato just as it starts to ripen, happens because your soil lacks calcium. So what do most people do the moment they spot it? They panic, rush out to the garden center, and buy calcium sprays or start crushing eggshells into their soil like it is some kind of miracle cure. But here is what professional growers actually know, and it might surprise you. Your soil almost always has plenty of calcium already sitting in it. The real problem, 9 times out of 10, is inconsistent watering. Think about it this way. Calcium moves through a tomato plant the same way blood moves through your body, but only when there is enough water flowing steadily to carry it along. If your plant goes through cycles of bone-dry soil one week followed by a sudden flood the next, the calcium simply cannot travel fast enough to reach where it is needed most, which is the developing fruit itself. So the plant essentially starves the tomato of calcium, even though there is more than enough sitting right there in the ground just a few inches away. It is not a shortage problem. It is a delivery problem. The fix, thankfully, is refreshingly simple and doesn't require buying anything new. Water deeply and on a consistent schedule rather than watering randomly whenever you remember or whenever the plant looks thirsty. A good rule professionals lean on is aiming for about 1 to 2 inches of water per week, delivered slowly and steadily rather than dumped all at once in a rush. Mulching around the base of your plant also works wonders here, because it locks in soil moisture and prevents those dramatic wet and dry swings that confuse the plant's calcium uptake. Straw, dried grass clippings, or even shredded leaves work perfectly fine for this and cost nothing if you already have them lying around. So before you spend another $1 on calcium sprays or specialty tomato food, fix your watering rhythm first. In most gardens, that single change solves the entire problem within a couple of weeks. Secret 2, the pruning trick nobody explains properly. Now here is one that surprises almost everyone, even gardeners who consider themselves fairly experienced. Most gardening advice out there tells you to prune suckers, those little shoots that pop up between the main stem and a branch, and then leaves it at that, as if that is the whole story. But professionals do something slightly different, something rarely mentioned in beginner guides, and it makes a massive difference in how much fruit you actually end up harvesting. The real secret is not just removing suckers. It is removing the lowest leaves and small branches, the ones closest to the soil line, once your plant reaches a certain height. Why does this small detail matter so much? Those lower leaves sitting close to the ground are constantly at risk of picking up soil-borne diseases through splashback, which happens every single time it rains heavily or you water from above with a hose or watering can. Fungal spores that live quietly in the soil bounce upward onto those low-hanging leaves, and from there they slowly creep up the plant, weakening it from the bottom before you even notice anything visibly wrong. By the time you spot yellowing or spotted leaves higher up, the problem has often already been developing for weeks. Professionals refer to this as creating airflow at the base of the plant, and it is one of the most overlooked reasons some gardens stay remarkably disease-free all season while others quietly struggle no matter what they try. Here is how you do it properly, step by step. Once your tomato plant reaches roughly 12 inches tall, begin removing any leaves or small branches growing below the first flower cluster. Do this gradually, taking off just a few leaves at a time rather than stripping the plant all at once, so it does not go into shock or stress from sudden change. You will notice something interesting happen within a couple of weeks of doing this consistently. The plant redirects that saved energy straight into fruit production instead of maintaining leaves it barely benefits from anyway. The result is less foliage cluttering the base, noticeably healthier stems, better airflow around the roots, and a plant that channels its energy exactly where it counts most, into growing bigger and healthier tomatoes. Quick pause here before we move on. If this is already changing how you think about your tomato plants, drop a comment below telling me which secret has surprised you the most so far. I genuinely read through these and love seeing what resonates with different gardeners. And while you are at it, go ahead and subscribe if you have not already, because next week we are covering something just as game-changing, this time for peppers, and trust me, you will not want to miss it. Alright, let's move into the final secret, and honestly, out of all three, this one might just be the biggest game-changer for your entire harvest. Secret 3, the feeding schedule professionals flip upside down. Most home gardeners feed their tomatoes the exact same fertilizer from the moment they plant the seedling all the way until harvest season ends. Usually something high in nitrogen, since that is what makes plants look lush, green, and healthy during those early growth stages. But here is the part almost nobody explains to beginners clearly. If you continue feeding a high nitrogen fertilizer once your plant starts flowering, you are actually working directly against your own harvest without realizing it. Nitrogen essentially tells a plant to focus on growing leaves and thick green stems. That is fantastic advice during the early stages of growth. But once flowers begin appearing, your tomato plant needs a completely different signal sent to it. It needs phosphorus and potassium instead, nutrients that push the plant's energy toward developing fruit rather than continuing to produce more leaves. Professional growers flip their feeding schedule the exact moment they spot the first flower cluster forming. They cut back significantly on nitrogen-heavy feeds and switch over to something specifically formulated for blooming and fruiting, which is usually easy to spot because it has a higher middle or final number listed on the fertilizer packaging. Skipping this one simple switch is one of the biggest hidden reasons so many home gardens end up with tall, leafy, gorgeous-looking tomato plants that somehow produce disappointingly little actual fruit by the end of the season. The plant is not being lazy or difficult. It is simply following the chemical signals you are continuously feeding it. Change that signal at the right time, and you completely change the outcome of your harvest. So there you have it, 3 secrets that professionals rely on but rarely explain out loud to everyday home gardeners. Fix your watering rhythm before automatically blaming your soil for calcium problems. Prune from the bottom up to protect your plant from disease creeping in unnoticed. And flip your fertilizer the moment those first flowers start showing up on the plant. None of these secrets require spending extra money or buying special products. They simply require doing things slightly differently than what most beginner advice out there tends to teach. If this video helped you see your tomato garden in a completely new light, hit that like button before you go, drop a comment sharing your own tomato struggles or wins this season, and subscribe so you never miss what is coming next here on Earthly Gardening. Until next time, happy growing, and I will see you in the next one.